Welcome! Today we are talking about the cost of living in Florida. If you like this video, don't forget to click the thumbs up and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future videos. Let's get started. Let's start with housing costs. Now, this obviously depends on whether you buy or rent and where your home is. The closer you get to the coast, prices are going to go up because only so many people can live by the beach. But that's not to say that everything out west is affordable. Also, you've probably heard of the 30% rule, which dictates that you should spend a maximum of 30% of your income on housing costs. This simply is not realistic for a lot of people who live in South Florida. Another thing you can expect to see a lot of in South Florida is homeowners associations. People from out of state are often shocked to find out that the suburbs do not look like what they had imagined. There are a lot of neighborhoods where each homeowner is paying a monthly fee to an HOA, some of which are gated communities and some aren't. Now, you can find some that are minimal, like $25 to $50 a month, and they might include maintenance of the common areas and enforcement of community guidelines. It's not abnormal to pay a few $100s a month and have a manned guard gate and a community pool. But be on the lookout, especially in Palm Beach County, you'll see some communities with upwards of $500 a month HOAs. And in addition, you have to pay to join the country club. Some neighborhoods do not have HOAs at all, which is great too, as long as you don't mind your neighbor parking a boat in their front yard. If you're from other states, this might make no sense to you. Why not let my neighbors do their thing and I'll do my thing? But let me explain it this way. In Florida, land is expensive, so you'll see what we call zero lot line homes, meaning your home is right next to your neighbor's. Trust me, when you can look out your bedroom window and see another house, you want to make sure your neighbors aren't allowed to paint it bright purple. Unless you like bright purple, in which case you might be the neighbor that people are paying extra to regulate. Sometimes the HOA fee will include some real value though. They might do your lawn maintenance or provide basic cable. So take it on a case-by-case basis, and whatever you choose, just keep in mind that this monthly payment is on top of your mortgage payment. Now, if you're renting, it changes a little. In Fort Lauderdale, you can expect to pay about $2,000 a month in rent for a nice one bedroom. You can cut the cost if you find a studio, or maybe get a roommate and split a 2-2. While that sounds like a lot, it's still a lot cheaper than a lot of big cities in New York or California. Let's talk about utilities. FPL is our energy provider in Florida. It's not a real creative name, it stands for Florida Power and Light. Expect your average monthly bill to be over $100. We do pay higher than the national average for power, but that's because we use more power. We keep the AC running basically 24/7 year-round, and that means that in the summer months, our bills are usually higher. However, FPL does offer this thing called budget billing, which evens out your energy bill throughout the year, so you pay about the same each month. They base it on the average of last year's bills, so you're never going to pay more than you use, but you're not getting anything for free either. So if you get comfortable with the monthly payments and you stop tracking how much you use and you start using more energy, you're going to end up owing that at the end. So just keep that in mind. Let's talk about water. Expect to pay around $50 to $60 a month in Broward County with some variance. I know Davie is on the cheaper end, but some water bills in Palm Beach County are really bad. Palm Beach County has this new tiered system of charging where one month they predict what your charges are going to be, and then the next month you'll get a bill for the actual usage. So sometimes your second bill numbers are high and then you're billed at a higher rate. So this has really messed with a lot of the billing in Palm Beach County. I don't know what they're going to do about it, but people are pretty mad. Just expect some variation throughout South Florida on your water bill. Let's talk about cable and internet. Cable will depend on what you have access to in your neighborhood. It depends on what your area is wired for. So some people have access to Comcast, some people have access to AT&T, some people have access to both, and some people like me don't like either option. Our costs for basic cable are comparable to anywhere else, but I point this out because it's an area to cut costs if need be. Switching to YouTube TV or just having a Netflix account might be enough for you, and sometimes basic cable is included in your HOA costs. Cell phone service. This obviously depends on your company. Florida's cell phone tax rate is on the higher end compared to other states, but South Florida has all the cell phone towers for each company, so the options are on the table when pricing out the best plan. What I recommend is you check out this website I'm going to share with you and see what towers will be closest to you and start pricing from there. You can use a company like TracFone that allows you to choose which provider services you get to utilize. Let's briefly talk about cars. This cost will obviously depend on what you drive and whether you buy or lease, but we do not have snow, ice, or mountains, so you never need snow tires, and four-wheel drive is basically useless here. So if you're comparing to, say, New York or California, you can really get away with driving something super simple here that gets you from point A to point B, as long as it has air conditioning. However, some Floridians use the flat land as an excuse to drive some pretty flashy sports cars. And if that's your thing, rest assured you can drive it year-round. Car insurance here is crazy high, but if you're looking to cut your car costs, you can save money on blinkers because no one here really uses them. Come to think of it, that might be why our insurance is so high. It's a bad joke. It's a really bad joke. I can't even make it sound good. According to AAA, gas prices in Florida are in the mid-range compared to other states. You're going to pay more in New York or California. Getting a Florida license will run you about $50, and yearly you pay about $50 for registration. But to register a car here for the first time when you move here, it can cost $300 to $500. I've had some friends move here from New York and leave their New York plates on for as long as possible. And by that I mean past when they were legally required to change them. I won't tell you who because I ain't no rat, but it's understandable because when you're moving, that is the last expense you think about. Now, taxes. This is a redeeming quality of Florida because there's no income tax. Sales tax is 6%, and then your county adds another percent, so you're looking at 7%. Property taxes are considered high in Florida, but that's also because property values are really high. If you're looking at your tax burden in Florida based on a percentage of the income earned spent on taxes, Florida's going to win out over California and New York. Whether you get what you pay for is a little more subjective, and I go into a little more detail regarding specifically Coral Springs taxes in this video, so check it out. Now let's talk about the fun stuff, entertainment. Now, of course, this is going to depend on how you like to spend your time. You can catch a concert or a Miami Heat game and expect to shell out a few $100s for that night out. But if you aren't picky about your seats, you could go to a Miami Marlins game for about 20 bucks. South Florida offers some great restaurants, whether you're on Las Olas in Fort Lauderdale, Meisner Park in Boca Raton, or you go to downtown Del Rey, but be ready to pay for good food. At a nice restaurant, you can plan to pay for a minimum of $20 for an entree, and drinks can be anywhere from $5 for a beer to $15 for a specialty drink. If you're looking for a cheaper activity, the beach is a great way to spend a Saturday for basically free, depending on what you pay for parking. Beware of parking garages, especially the one in Beach Place on Fort Lauderdale Beach. Metered parking is usually cheaper, and of course, if you can find a free parking spot, I recommend you buy a lottery ticket that day. By the way, the Florida Lottery funds a statewide scholarship program called Bright Futures Scholarships, which provides for state residents who meet certain eligibility criteria to receive a college scholarship for up to 100% of their tuition. I'd say that makes Florida a little more affordable if you've got college kids. Now, I promised I would tell you why South Florida is absolutely priceless, and here it is. In some ways, Florida might sound comparatively expensive, but there are just so many positives that outweigh these points. The lifestyle here is amazing. The sun is out basically every day. You'll save money on things you might not even expect, like a wardrobe, because you don't need a seasonal wardrobe. I think I own one sweater and I just wear it when the AC is on too cold. And remember, we live where people vacation. Some people fly across the country to go to Disney. I can just drive a couple hours and when I get there, pay for a discounted resident pass. Many resorts down here even offer day passes so you can enjoy the hotel's amenities. For like $30, I can go spend the day at a beach resort. There are also multiple ports in South Florida, so I can easily hop on a cruise ship and be in the Bahamas for a weekend. But if you insist on flying, it's less than an hour flight to get to the Caribbean. And I haven't even mentioned the Keys, the Florida Keys. They're just like right there. Like I can just a little drive away. Just a morning drive, not even a day drive. Thanks for watching. I hope this video gave you a better idea of what it costs to live in South Florida. If I left anything out or you have any specific questions about South Florida, feel free to ask in the comment box below or reach out to me. My contact information is in the description box. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to my channel for a new video every Wednesday.